ever stated.
Okay.
At the same time, I would sit my child down and reason with my child even for 10 years.
Okay.
Even if I had to reason with my child for 10 years, I have a case with me right now. There is a father, Pakistani father, from a very conservative society called the Pashtuns.
Yeah.
You know the
Yeah,
Pathans?
Pashtun, Afghanistan,
Very
also.
conservative
Yeah.
people. His son has problems.
path.
He's left the path.
Right.
He's absolutely left the path. He contacted me. He said, I have been trying to reason with my son for a very long time. I said to him, what advice did I give him? Continue with love and compassion.
Right.
Be generous. Do not let your child feel that you hate that child because of the decision he's made or she has made. Continue with love and compassion. And I asked him to bring your child to me, and we would sit down and have an intelligent discussion and see how we can solve this problem. So we don't believe in, okay? We don't believe in that. We don't believe in that. And people who try to put this out there that the Muslims are vicious barbarians and they believe in an uncivilized way of life that always dictates, implement the punishment on the spot. You become the judge, the jury, and the executioner. This is by the Islamic law haram, what we call prohibited.
Yeah, forbidden, yeah.
Prohibited. It's forbidden.
Haram.
You cannot take the law in your hands in any society. In any society, wherever the Muslims may be.
Let me
right?
ask you
That's
this.
why
Let me
we
ask
are
you.
against terrorism. That's why we are against terrorism.
I read the Quran in English, so I speak Arabic.
Yeah.
And this is one of the impressions I got from the Quran.
Yeah.
Right? It seemed to suggest that if I'm a non-believer, whatever that means, right? If I'm a non-believer, I'm going to be punished.
Right.
Like that my non-belief is a choice, which I don't think it is. I think believing is just you're either lucky or unlucky enough to believe.
Right.
Right. And number two, like it's a terrible thing if you don't believe, even if you behave in the most amazing way, you're very kind and generous, but you have doubts, or you don't believe. It seems to me from reading the Quran, and I may have misread it, so I'm asking you, that you're condemned as a non-believer. What do you think about that?
Non-belief.
Is that a misunderstanding of
That's
mine?
a misunderstanding
Okay, so
of
what
yours.
does it really
because
mean?
I will always talk with references.
Okay.
When you will bring a question, it's a valid question, it's an intelligent question, and many people have this question. I will respond it directly from the Quran. Chapter 60 of the Quran, verse 8, clearly states that those non-believers who do not fight you for your faith and do not drive you out of your homes, God does not forbid you from being kind to them. We the Muslims have been commanded by God to be kind to non-Muslims directly.
I'm not talking about non-Muslims, I'm talking about Muslims who decide that it's not for them.
Right.
Forget about non-Muslims for a minute.
Okay. There is no problem.
Right.
If a Muslim decides that he doesn't want to believe in Islam, there is no problem. Unless that person comes out in public and encourages others to do the same. When it becomes public, it's a different matter altogether.
Why?
It's because it's a social faith. Islam is a social faith. Again, it comes back to freedom of speech laws. Okay, there are certain things you can say in societies, and there are certain things.
Why do you care? If you're so
You may
sure,
disagree with that.
If you're so sure about your faith,
Yeah.
not you personally, but if religious people are so sure about their faith, and I come out and I say, look, not only do I doubt the faith, I want to be secular, but I'd like whoever else wants to come and join me. Why are you so afraid of? Let me, you live your life, and I'll live my life with my friend, and we'll have a discussion.
No problem
and some
with that.
people will go with you.
I made it very
some people
clear.
will come with me.
I made it
Yeah,
very
we
clear.
have to have
no
laws
problem.
against it and violence.
I have no problem. I've made it very clear. We as Muslims have no problem with people being secular. They want to drink,
Muslims.
including Muslims.
Right.
They want to drink. They want to have sex on the beach. They want to have orgies and wild parties and sniff cocaine. By all means, go and do it. It's your life.
Right.
Okay, but don't encourage others to do it, because that's when the law comes in. You cannot encourage others. You wanna live your life. You wanna go to Brazil, have the party on the beach. Go and do it. We have no problem with that. It's your life. We as Muslims, let me clarify very quickly. We as Muslims, as a community, global community, have no problem with the choices people make individually.
That's not true.
But when those choices,
That's not true. Homosexuality, for example, in many Muslim countries, homosexuality
It's illegal.
is illegal and
It's
punishable
illegal.
by death or
Yes,
violence.
yeah, that's
right.
So
if somebody happens
No,
to be
no.
born
Wait.
with a particular,
It's not punished by death, by the way. I don't know which country you're talking
it's in the
about.
Sharia law, and just recently the Sultan of Brunei said we won't actually enforce it because people stopped saying in the Dorchester hotel, right? But he said he's going to enforce it. And in other countries, my understanding is Iran, for example, it's enforced in Iran.
Okay.
And I think
If
even
a
Pakistan.
society,
If I'm gay
wait.
and I go with my gay boyfriend and I stay in a hotel and everybody knows and there were witnesses, I don't know whatever,
Okay.
I can be punished.
Okay.
Yeah?
That's a good point. Let's talk about it. It's a very good point. You're raising very intelligent questions, and we want to address them. If someone wants to be homosexual in a Muslim state, in a Muslim country, you can be homosexual in your home. Do what you want. Okay? Do
Are
it
you
however you
sure?
want. 100%. 100%. The moment you bring it in public and you want other people to be like you, then there is a law. Islam, you see, Islamic societies are based upon a divine law. We believe in a divine law. We do not have the power to change it. That law cannot be changed because we believe it is from God. God created us, He gave us a law to live by. Let me finish. Okay, in that law, if there's a clause that you cannot do X, Y, and Z, we have to live by that. We can't be hypocrites. We can't forget you. Wait,
hang on a second. I understand that you and other Muslims believe what they want to believe about God and divine law. The problem is there's 7.5 billion people on the planet, right? And we potentially could all believe different things. And the question is, what right do you have, right, to enforce by violence, right, your belief system about divine law on someone else, another Muslim, a member of your family, a non-Muslim? What right do you have to do that? You're entitled to your belief, and you and your friends you want to believe can hang out together, whatever. But when someone's born into the world, what right do you have? And before you answer the question, I want to just come back to my original question, which you didn't really answer. You told me that chapter, that Surah 60, blah blah blah. I'm just telling you that when I read the Quran, right, I know that you just told me that there is a verse somewhere in the Quran that says we should be kind and not. But there are many other verses which seem to suggest, right, on the face of it, that disbelievers, right, the word disbeliever, which could mean your enemy, it could mean your son, it could mean your neighbor. I don't know what it means.
It could mean your wife.
It's on every wife.
It could mean your wife, your uncle.
Other page of the Quran, it's like, disbeliever this, disbeliever that, disbeliever that. I'm reading the book, I'm going, when's God going to get over the whole disbelieving thing? If God wants us to believe so much, why don't we have more signs? Because we don't have a lot. We have an amazing universe, but we have very little information about the nature of the divine. In fact, you say God divine. God is
You're
one.
raising a number of points, and let me respond to two of the points you raised. Can we enforce our...
I've got to go home in 2 minutes.
No problem. Can we enforce our ways on others? Absolutely not. In Islam, we are not allowed as Muslims to impose our laws upon the Jews and the Christians.
What about Hindus?
Not even Hindus. Okay. For example, throughout the Islamic civilization, Jews existed with Muslims
as dhimmi.
Okay, what does dhimmi mean?
Dhimmi means they didn't have full independence and equality.
Well, you
they
don't
didn't have quality as human
You have a
beings.
Misconception.
There
were Jewish prime ministers in Spain. Did you know that under Islamic rule, there were Jewish prime ministers, at least two of them, Hasda ibn Shaprut.
You're bringing out a good example. But in Iraq, they weren't Jewish prime ministers.
Okay.
And people had to pay a tax. They had to pay a jizz.
You can't have a Jewish prime minister everywhere, can you?
Sorry?
You can't have a Jewish prime minister everywhere.
You seem to be denying. You seem to be denying a historical story, which I heard, which I believe. Hang on a second. I'm saying there are instances where there are two Jewish prime ministers, but there are many other instances
if you let me answer your
where
question,
Christians and Jews
were
second-class citizens in Muslim-majority countries.
First of all,
in the Middle Ages,
let me explain very quickly. In the Middle Ages, there was no such thing as the second-class citizens. There were Jewish citizens, there were Christian citizens, and there were Muslim citizens. All of them lived by their own rules and their laws. The Jews had their Beth Dins, their own courts. The Christians had their bishops governing their societies. Muslims had their qadis. Okay, you don't believe me? Just pick up any basic history book on Ottomans and non-Muslims, or Al-Andalus and non-Muslims. And you will see how Jews lived their own lives according to their rules, and there was no mullah standing on top of their heads with a sword. You don't do Sharia, we will chop you. No, there was nothing like that. That's the conception you have been fed with by international media and by the international Islamophobia industry.
Let me finish. Has been spread by extremist Muslims.
Let me finish. Islamophobia has been spread by two extremist entities: Western politicians and Muslim terrorists. I'll tell you why. Because this is a war between Western politicians who are terrorists and Muslim terrorists who are also terrorists, right? This is a war between them. Who are the victims? We, the Muslims, the majority, right? So How are the Western politicians terrorists? People like Tony Blair, I believe he's a terrorist. I believe Jeremy Corbyn recently said he should be in Hague for war crimes. He caused the war in Iraq, and that war produced ISIS. ISIS is a product. Okay, so how am I, Sheikh Mohammed or Joe or Terry or George responsible for that?
I'll tell you how.
Yeah.
You're not responsible for it at all.
Oh, Muslim, we are Muslims. We are standard Muslims.
You're a victim of it, but
yeah.
I'm not saying you're responsible. What I'm saying is, right, that the ISIS which came out of the deposed regime of Saddam Hussein.
ISIS came out as a reaction to Iraq invasion.
Yes,
and
they successfully used Islamic text and Islamic belief system. They used. Hang on a second.
I'm Muslim Kurdish.
Yes.
Who killed the ISIS? Who killed
Fine,
ISIS?
the Kurdish. Very good.
Yeah.
I'm
The Kurds.
I'm Muslim.
Yeah,
Very nice. I'm saying that they successfully used Quranic ideas and Islamic texts and Islamic laws, yes, through their disgusting interpretation of Islam, right? And they said, they said our terrorism, this is our understanding of Islam, and they found succor in the text of the Quran, the same text that you read.
So tell me, which text in the Quran allows the killing of innocent people?
Well,
ISIS has been killing innocent people. Tell me which text, which verse in the Quran, even indirectly allows the killing of innocent people.
Okay, let me ask you a question because I'm not familiar enough with the Quran. Is there no text in the Quran which has something to the effect of disbelievers shall be killed?
X, Y, and Z.
Killed. It doesn't say that anywhere in the Quran.
No. Disbelievers, those disbelievers who fight you, Quran says.
No, forget about the fight. They just says they don't believe, then you kill them.
No.
And by the way, even disbelievers who fight you, yeah. So you can say anyone you don't like fights you.
Let me respond to you. Your point very good. The
irresponsible.
Quran.
I've got to go. Are you here every Sunday?
Last point before you go.
Yeah.
The Quran has many verses on peace, on war, on diplomacy, on wives, on children, on orphans, on society at large.
Right.
Quran is a book of law. Like the Torah for the Jewish people, the Quran is for us. It is a book of law. It has rules on everything. So how do we actually practice the Quran? By following the Quran and the prophetic example. Prophet told us, in the light of the Quran, when you are in conflict, when you have been attacked and you have to defend yourselves, okay, do not kill women, do not kill children, do not kill non-combatants, do not cut trees, do not destroy crops, do not demolish buildings, do not kill monks, do not kill elderly. All of these rules are there in the teachings of Prophet Muhammad in the light of the Quran. So Quran tells us what? In chapter 2, verse 190, 191 and 192. Quran tells us, fight those who fight you and drive you out of your homes. Fight, defend yourself, وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا, and do not transgress limits. What is transgression?
I've got to go.
What I just told you. Very nice talking to you. Thank you so much.
I have a quick question because you asked him a lot.